give a brief intro because we do have a guest, David Libby, calling in from East Bay. Orinda, is that the name of it?
That's right, Orinda, east of San Francisco.
East of San Francisco. Yep. And I met David through Rajiv, who met David on Lunch Club, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So great to have good connectors in my circle and for you all of you as well.
Thank you.
So David, this is we usually get anywhere from like 10 to 20 people at these events. I'd like to be able to boost it up to more when I have more time to dedicate to building our community. I will be hopefully moving in that direction. But always inviting guests so they can get a feel for what it's like. The concept of this networking group is we're all independent marketing, sales, and advertising professionals. Usually we have a specific niche, and because of who we deal with, we see opportunities to expand our offerings or to help each other help our clients. So that's the benefit of the Trusted Referral Network. The other aspect of it is you already, I'm sure, have, like all of us have, a group of trusted resources that you go to for whatever it happens to be to support your work. And if they're really good people, they should get more work. And by referring them out to other people, hopefully, you'll still have access to them, but they'll be more successful and be appreciative and refer business back to you. So, typically this meeting, it's an hour. We usually have a 15-minute showcase. We have a sign up for that. Anybody can showcase. It's usually 10 minutes of presentation with 5 minutes or so of Q&A. But the 15 minutes are dedicated to that showcase, however they want to split it up. And people have done showcases on the primary business or secondary business, just thought processes they've been involved with, client case studies, whatever they think is relevant that might be of interest to the broader group. And then we jump right into 3 minutes or so of introductions. People get a chance to introduce themselves, reintroduce themselves, mention what they're up to, how they might be able to help other people, what their focus is, and what makes them really different. And then is a great opportunity just to get to know somebody you might want to connect with. And so if you do see somebody you want to connect with, jot their name down. I would encourage everybody to put in the chat their LinkedIn profile, and you could save that at the end. That way it'll be easy to connect. And if you say, oh geez, who was that guy wearing the purple shirt? I couldn't remember his name.
Scott, right?
Scott, exactly. You could always go back to the video. I do save these on YouTube, and I will, if you want the video, let me know. I'll send you my YouTube channel, or you could just ask me. I'll go back to the YouTube channel, and if you remind me who it was and what you remember about the person, I will definitely give you their name if you didn't get it off of the chat. So people showed up in the order in which I am about to post on chat to everyone. And so we'll go around the circle, 3 minutes or so each. I'll put a timer on, and it would be James Heaton, Stacy Mathis, Rajiv to start off. And I am recording this, as I said. I do post it to the YouTube channel, and that goes out on my newsletter every week. And I will put it into speaker mode so that when James starts talking, he'll show up as the top. James, you are up.
Hi, everyone. I'm James Heaton. I have, for the last 25 years, had a business that is now known as Tronvig. It's gone through a couple other names, but we are a brand strategy and management consulting firm. That means that we help organizations sort out what their market position is and make sure that they're operationally optimized to deliver on whatever that position or that promise may be. This takes Michael Porter's definition of strategy. Strategy is a clearly defined market position backed up by operational practice. So it doesn't matter that it matters that you position yourself properly, but if then you can't deliver on the promises you make in terms of your operational and internal sort of essentially the operational execution, then it doesn't turn into business success. So we care as much about that internal as the external when we're doing our brand work. So sometimes that means we're helping an organization with strategic planning. Sometimes that's cultural alignment, making sure that everyone in the organization is making a maximal contribution to the organization's overall success and that they're guided by the core values. And sometimes it's clarifying a position externally that they can then organize around. Our sweet spot is organizations that are about 50. We calculate based on number of employees. So between 50 and 2,000 employees is our sweet spot. We have done organizations with 10,000 employees. That's stretching it. And we've also done sort of smaller organizations. We have some automated tools to help in those contexts. The model, as far as our sort of philosophical roots, are with Peter Drucker, which means that we care a lot about human relations, how an organization treats its thought workers, and the fact that everyone in organization today who's a thought worker is essentially, even though they're being paid, they're technically a volunteer. And the means of production is between their ears and therefore portable, and they can take it with them at a moment's notice. So you've got to get all this stuff right so that you can keep your best people, as well as help them be able to make maximal contributions to your performance out in the market. So that's it in a nutshell. We have a commercial practice and a nonprofit practice. The nonprofit work is more rewarding, more time-consuming, more complicated, and less profitable, but we still love it. So we love an occasional for-profit project because it's faster, easier, and they're happier, and we make more money. But if we did just that, it would kind of like eviscerate some of our motivation. So we keep it mixed.
It reminds me of my dad, who was a defense lawyer, and he loved doing criminal work, but it didn't really pay the bills. So.
I had to mix it up with the corporate work.
Had to mix it up, corporate and like family law, divorce. Hated divorce work, so acrimonious, but people are willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to stick it to their ex.
Yeah, the work is very similar. The need for sort of like our man hours tend to go up in the for-profit, that the timelines get condensed, and the need for validating research goes up, so the costs go up. So it's not like we just charge more for the for-profit work. The demands and the throughput requirements are very high. The nice side benefit of that is implementation is also faster. Right, so it'll be a slower, more attenuated process with a nonprofit, and then implementation is slower. The ultimate reward is we get to have a really significant impact on those organizations, but it's just slow to feel. Anyway, that's it. James Heaton, Tronvig, brand strategy and management consulting.
Wonderful. Okay, Stacy Mathis, you are up, and then Rajiv, and then David as guest. Stacy, I put you on mute. I put everybody on mute. So I put people on mute because.
Got it.
Okay.
I think I actually skipped Rajiv. He was here first when I came in.
I'll
So.
get to him. He doesn't mind.
Stacy Mathis, I own a company, website called Legal Copywriting Central, and we craft marketing material for lawyers. We also now craft material for companies that market to lawyers. Yeah, I mentioned a couple of meetings ago that I was doing a cold email campaign this summer, and it's going well. We signed a company that is a leader in its tech space. Speaking of divorce, it's called SoberLink, and they have what's a breathalyzer for people. It's two parts to it. It's one for alcohol recovery, and then the other one for family, for lawyers who do divorce. And it comes into play in custody cases where one of the parents abuses alcohol, and then you have a concerned party on the other side. So they create the technology for that so that the person can be monitored when they're with the child, before they pick up the child, after they drop off the child, that sort of thing, just to keep, make sure everything's copacetic and that the kid's okay. So that was one of the results of the cold email campaign this summer. So woohoo. What else? That's about it that's going on. And we just introduced, we're slowly introducing blog writing into the equation. So that's it.
Thank you. That's great. And how many, just out of curiosity, how many emails or how many emails did you send out?
22 very, very targeted emails.
22.
Mm-hmm. Just so far.
Wow. That's impressive. They must have been very powerful. I thought you were going to say 22,000.
No, 22 emails. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm sure people will want to see those, how they were written, because to close a deal on just 22 cold emails, that's very impressive.
Well, close one of 22.
Wait, that's still
Okay.
from cold emails. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's
anybody else has
5%. That's a good number.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Rajiv, sorry if you came second, but I'm moving you into third.
Gotcha. No worries. Let me see if this works. This is, I use TRN as a basis of testing new ideas, marketing, communication, and the like. So here's another one of them. Let's see if this works.
So we're your guinea pigs. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Wait a minute. What's going on? Why can I not?
You shared your entire screen.
Oh yeah. So Michael, I think you might need to update your Zoom, because last time also I think it ran into the same issue.
Advanced okay. Sharing options. All participants says all participants can share. I don't know.
I don't know, but anyway, I'll wait. So is it working right now?
That is, yeah. Now that's good.
And now the video. Okay, fine. So let's see.
The past
is the audio, like, can you hear
yes.
the audio? Okay.
Yes.
Can sometimes be crazy, messy, and ugly, which unfortunately could be linked to you or someone you care about on Google. Wouldn't it be great if you could separate yourself from your past mistakes? The good news is that the past can be erased from Google so you can live your best life. R-Square Media's reputation repair services have successfully helped clients just like you realize peace of mind. Misery is history. Request a free consultation at rsquaremedia.com.
Yes, so incidentally, I have a white label version of that video as well, which I'm happy to supply to all of my many white label agency partners. And I would like to, have conversations with those of you that I'm meeting for the first time, as well as those that I might have spoken to recently. But as you know, you don't eat an elephant in a single sitting. So when you kind of speak a couple of times, that's the real ideas trigger and the synergies truly emerge. So what the ask is I'll share my Calendly link, and if you can please click that and select a time on my calendar, I definitely want to speak to you to explore synergies, because as you know, there's stuff happening every single day. And even though we might have spoken last week or the week before, but something happened, 2 days later, and, we just want to catch up on that, but also to see how we can work together. The update on that front is that there's a new sports marketing opportunity. It's a startup based out of the West Coast. It's still like very early stages, but I definitely want to speak to Scott and David, you and a few others, to kind of just get a sense of some of the ideas for how what can be done as far as some early strategies, both on the positioning, branding side, but also on potentially the funding and the scaling side of it. So I definitely want to have those conversations. So
Is that the same group that you've spoken to Scott about in the past?
No, this is something brand new. I
Okay.
just had this second conversation earlier today. First conversation was yesterday evening. So
Is it
this is like
sports tech or is it sports marketing?
Rajiv, I'm sending you a referral right now, actually, to a sexual assault case.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hit your stop share? Because you're still sharing your
Oh, still
screen.
sharing? Okay.
All right, good. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about sports marketing opportunities. So we should connect on that.
Yeah, it's actually a hybrid of tech, and so it's a drink, but there's a tech part, there's a tech component of it as well.
Okay.
So it's kind of like in that weird hybrid space.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right. Who did I say was next? That would be David, then Bryce, then Faith. So David, you are up.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me. Good to see everybody. Nice to meet you all. Good to see you, Rajiv, again. My name is David Libby, and I run Two Pins, which is a marketing consultancy. We accelerate startup exits. Our PR, content, and social media consultants bring a unique blend of expertise, experience, and spirit as entrepreneurs ourselves for collaborating with clients to achieve high value positioning. We partner with them on their strategic planning and execution in creating integrated campaigns that help them get out the door at maximum value. Personally, I was recruited up to the Bay Area to work with Steve Jobs and represent Pixar, where I launched A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2. After help build the narrative for that company, I then was, then Walt Disney acquired Pixar, and I was then asked to work for other companies to help them do similar messaging, public relations, and content to achieve exits at high valuations. It's very my pleasure to be here. Thank you, everybody, and good to hear you and see you.
Thank you. That's a great background. Didn't know about that. You should brag more about Pixar and Steve Jobs. That definitely raises eyebrows. Wow.
It was a good run. It was a good run.
It was a good run. Everybody's got something to brag about in their history.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's definitely worth repeating. And also, when I spoke with David on the phone, he told me that one of his recent clients was sold to Google, and he helped them get there. And that's his focus, helping startups, and many of which are, of course, based in the Bay Area, position themselves so that they are seen by those who might be interested in buying them. So if you know of a startup like that, David is the guy to connect them with. And I don't know too many startups that don't want to monetize at some point. So.
It's a matter of when.
Whether they want to go IPO or whatever, but
Mission IPO, yeah, something.
All right, and I see that you are wearing the Maniacs T-shirt. So
I am the 10,000 Maniacs T-shirts. They came out to
10,
the Bay Area. Yeah,
cool.
they got themselves back together, came out to the Bay Area and did a great show at Jack London Square in Oakland. So Figured I'd be a little spirited today instead of coming with my usual, button-down shirt.
Absolutely. Love it. All right. Bryce, you are up.
Hey everybody, so I've been here quite a while, so most of you know me, but I am the VP of Sales for a marketing agency. We focus mainly on organic. Got a couple of really interesting techs right now. I kind of did a presentation a couple weeks ago about an AI writer. So we basically took two AIs, put them together, added in a bunch of research and some VAs, and kind of made a pretty cool product out of it, which is pretty interesting. I usually talk about either AdCannibal, which is an AI that saves companies money on SEM by optimizing the back end, and kind of eliminating an inefficiency in the system. But today, I actually just want to see if anybody has a referral for me. I spoke with a referral from Rajiv a couple weeks ago, or last week actually. Really good guy, and thank you, Rajiv, for that really great conversation with him. So I'll be following up with him hopefully this week to talk about AdCannibal for that. So I'll have some referral money for you if that goes through. But today I'm looking for if anybody knows developers, so like actual physical construction. I know we're all in marketing, but I got connected to a really interesting project that's kind of a revolution in construction. My actual background is in construction. And what these guys do, they can essentially build concrete towers about 20 to 35% faster because they use a modular technology, which nobody else really has. And so eventually they want to expand into the US. I don't know if any of you guys have connections in the real estate for land assemblies or construction and development. But that is something that I'm really looking forward to help push that forward. There is a commission on that. It's like 0.25% for projects over 30 mil, and all towers are over 30 mil, but that's off of the revenue. So that's kind of what's at stake for the referral aspect, which I'm obviously happy to share. But that's something is kind of one of my passion projects, because it's a really, really cool technology. I used to be a construction worker, so saving people having to work in that absolutely abysmal work environment is really cool, and this technology is really, really cool as well. So if anybody wants more information or has a referral
So
for
Bryce,
me,
I know somebody else who's in the similar business. The company's called Girder Slab. So look them up, Girder, GIRDER -slab.com or something like that.
Okay.
And also, I was telling David on the phone just a couple of days ago, or maybe it was yesterday, about news SEO. And he had a question that I forwarded to you, which you kindly responded to, but now you can connect with David directly and explain to him, why it goes above and beyond PR Newswire and PR Web.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully that will be helpful.
Yeah, sure. I'll connect with you after, David.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to relay that information, but since you're both on the same call right now, you can connect directly.
Sure.
All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. So yeah, appreciate anybody that has a connection, and thank you in advance.
And definitely let's connect on that technology, especially if it's for high-rise towers. The girder slab product is more for up to, let's say, 6 stories or something.
Yeah, I might still have a valuable connection for them anyway. I kind of have a bunch of contacts in construction from my history there.
Oh, yeah.
And so there might be something there anyway. So I'm happy to connect them if there is something there.
Actually, if they're complementary services, you could make money for them as well. Make referrals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And money for yourself, as we all do. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Faith Thomasis, you are up.
Okay, let me unmute. Saw me relocate a few minutes ago. I think a storm's blowing in where I am. I don't know if it's Fred or not. Anyway, I'm Faith Thomasis, and I am a business writer. And I work with teams on business communications, both from the strategic standpoint and research as to developing what the messaging should be. And then I do writing of websites, brochures, any kind of marketing communications. And I also have a very strong portfolio in name development, because my expertise is really articulating things as simply and in as few words as possible. And with naming, you need to be really tight. So I work directly with clients and in conjunction with other consultancies. I can be brought on as a team, design firm, ad agency, any other kind of organization. I'm very flexible and I'm versatile, so I've got experience in a wide range of industries. And my ideal client is really anyone, I mean, I've worked for solo practitioners up to I've worked for IBM, who just need help articulating a message and then translating what they really want to say into succinct, easily readable copy. So I've just gotten some resume writing work, and which is an interesting reflection on the economy. And I'm intrigued now because several people now I've talked to are moving into blogging. So I have to explore that as another source of revenue. So I'm located both in New York and in Wilmington, Delaware. And I've met some of you already. I was away, had some beach brain, and now I'm back. So look forward to connecting. I'll put my info up.
Wonderful. And you're in the New York area now?
No, I just got to Delaware today.
Just got to Delaware. Yeah, that does not look like a New York City scene out the back.
No, I'm not at that income level.
Where you could have the plants on the terrace kind of thing and the overlooking Park Avenue.
I have a beautiful brick wall that I look at and it sort of was peeling a few years ago. So the landlord very nicely fixed it. And that's the life on the Upper West Side.
I'll tell you, my son, we had for a while brick walls out some of our windows, and somebody had painted a big sunrise right outside my son's window. So that helped.
I thought about that. It was suggested to me to do that, but I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do the painting.
Right.
Scott Lang, you are up. Scott, you still with us? Yes, you're on mute, Scott. So.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to meet some of the new people aboard here. And so I think that's David and Stacy and James. I think you were here before, but it's good to, and Faith, I just sent you a note. I do blogging occasionally. Go to news.toolcase.com. You'll see my articles. So I am in the partnerships and alliances business. And one could say that that's picking up a piece of paper from the left side of my desk and putting it down on the right side of my desk, which is what I try to do as often as I can. But usually there's work involved. So the partnerships and alliances that I work on are primarily for the Lonely Entrepreneur and the Black Entrepreneur Initiative, which is helping underserved minority entrepreneurs with knowledge, tools, and support to help them succeed. Recently just signed UPS on a significant pilot program. When a super tanker like UPS does a deal, believe me, a crumb is a lot more than a crumb. So that's a good start there. We've been working with the NBA, Charlotte Hornets, Milwaukee Bucks, Richard Petty Motorsports, Hustle Mommies in Chicago, all kinds of CDFIs and financial institutions to get money and get this SaaS platform that we are working on in the hands of entrepreneurs. Additionally, I work in advertising, and I have clients, Jane Parker's Baked Goods, which is the old A&P baked goods line. We just are going to start a sampling program to go retail. The brand is an e-commerce brand. I'm working with a few other e-commerce brands. And I just got word today that my Italian client came out of vacation and COVID as well, and is going to start up again for this coming year. A company that imports, I should say, but they have a U.S. division, so I don't know if we can call it import. I think my time is up probably, but so
Yeah,
look at
49 more.
Yeah, if you have a property like in sports, it's been my big background. I had a great run just like you, David, only my run was running 10 years of the New York City Marathon, not running in it, running it. So,
Really?
and then from there, I went to 20 odd years more of sports marketing. That's been where the partnerships and alliances all started and where they sort of still coalesce with the World Pro Ski Tour as a client, and Rex Sunglasses, the US Ski and Snowboard Association. I'm involved with all the different governing bodies, people in sports, and I get calls a lot of times for advice or acquisitions advice and that type of thing. So I have a very eclectic career at this point because it's what I choose to do. Whatever I choose to do.
Thank you. Yeah. And yes, Scott was the Chief Marketing Officer of the New York City Marathon for 10 years. Yeah. Very cool. And Jason Cement, you're up.
Hi, so Jason Cement, I run a company called Get Visible. We're a digital marketing agency. We're in Phoenix and in Los Angeles. My background is atypical because I was a CPA and then a lawyer, and then I ran an e-commerce business all in the 90s. And then I ended up buying out the company that built my e-commerce business. So we own a piece of an e-commerce platform. So if you hate Shopify and you hate Magento, then I can introduce you to our platform. Very different. And the heart of that business is you're sort of outsourcing the entire e-commerce programming and website management so your clients can run their business and not worry about, I'm going to give you a new word, meticulating on their website, wasting time. So that's one thing. And the second thing is I wrote a book on marketing. It's called I Need More Clients. And it's sort of a walkthrough of how to drive traffic from search engines and pay-per-click management and social media, all of that kind of stuff. We have 15 people on the team. Been doing it since 2005. And the difference between us and a lot of other agencies is we have no salespeople. It's all relationships. And we don't have a black box in what we do. We try to lay out the costs for our clients so they can actually see sort of like an a la carte menu, but not a la carte pricing. So it's just, here's the different layers. And if you can do something and we don't have to be paid to do it, then we'll help you to do it. And so we just want to be paid when you're lazy or when you want to be efficient, one of those two. So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good.
All right. Did you have a question, Scott, for Jason?
No, but I think your e-commerce, we should be back in touch. We've talked earlier, as you know.
Yeah.
Let me find out what the Italians are doing and then we'll talk.
I'll tell you something crazy on the e-commerce. We did a deployment in Germany and beat out SAP for a client of theirs, and they went ballistic. And now we're on the phone with the head of e-commerce for SAP doing an integration to them. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, the platform, it's not the prettiest platform, but functionally it's really cool. Anyway, more to discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Absolutely. And the platform is called Adricom. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll put it in the thing.
Wonderful. And it is, for those of you who know e-commerce, it's a very capable platform. Probably its sort of capabilities are on par with or surpass that of Magento without all of the headache. And then it's really a service because they're implementing it on their platform.
Right.
Plus, providing a whole range of other services as well. So you're really buying both the platform and the team. And that for many people is a great headache off their shoulders. All right, I didn't miss anybody besides myself, correct? All right, then I'll give myself a 3-minute timer. So you all know me. My name is Michael Bendit. My company, Software Development Resources, is a rep firm. So I represent 10 different companies, around 10 different companies that are essentially boutique software development teams that do websites, mobile applications, e-commerce sites, and then some niche things like 3D rendering. So I have recently started generating some business for one of my 3D rendering teams. Yeah, it's a cross between design and programming, of course. A lot of it is design using technology. This particular team is an offshore team. They're based in Israel and the Ukraine. Their prices are really competitive for the quality of work they do. So I'm talking right now to some event producers and actually giving a presentation to a networking group of event producers because a lot of times what they'll need to do is show the client what it's going to look like in the, the convention center or the hotel, because that's part of the business, right? Transforming a space for the client. But the more conventional work that we do is things like WordPress or Magento, Shopify, build out those sites. And my teams are they're targeted. They've got, 1 or 2 or 3 areas of expertise. And my feeling is that, you're better off having people that really know what they're doing and they specialize in those spaces and matching the right team with the right capability. My best clients are really the partnerships that I develop with small and mid-sized, mostly small digital marketing agencies that don't always have those resources in-house. So they might have a programmer that does WordPress or 2, but sometimes they're overbooked. They just don't have the bandwidth because they're getting more business than they can handle. Or something comes in over the transom that's a Magento or a Drupal or some other platform, or something that they just don't have any experience with, and they'd still like to do the design work. They'd like to do the strategy work. They'd like to do the SEO or SEM, whatever it happens to be. But in order to sell it, they need a partner who can actually deliver on the technology. So my background has always been in tech. I studied computer science engineering when you had to punch cards, but haven't really done any programming since then. I much prefer to sell the stuff, learn about it, talk about it, and sell it. So that's what my niche is. And I'll add that most of my work is with my dual shore teams. And the reason is they've got a couple of people here, and that's who the client interfaces with. Somebody here in the US who's on the same time zone, speak perfect English, can relate to them on a cultural basis. But the cost basis, for the developers is offshore. So the price point on a per hour basis is more like 40 to 60 instead of $150 an hour that you pay here in the US. So that's my spiel. I'm going to go to the gallery mode. Thank you all for sticking through the 42 minutes we've been on. Any comments, questions? We don't have, as I said, a showcase presenter, so we're finished a little bit early, or can finish a little bit early. So do post your LinkedIn if you haven't already. I'm going to do it right now in the chat. And then what you could do is, if you open the chat, there's those 3 dots. If you hit, it says more, and then the first thing is save chat. That'll save it to your downloads, and you'll have all of the chat content. So if anybody have any comments, questions, requests?
I think just basically one broad PSA kind of thing is, David, since you're a guest and this is the first time here, I would highly recommend that you check out the TRN website, which is trustref.net, I believe. And on that website, it's kind of like a wiki of sorts of all of the coolest companies in the planet on there, with some of whom are represented here in the room right now. And but jokes aside, you'll see like a lot of the agencies out there. It's like a Rolodex of all of the marketing, PR, and adjacent industries there, along with the key people in those agencies, along with their key contact details, etc. So I think it's a great place to kind of start the networking, even if those people aren't in the room at this moment in time. Yeah, it would be a great place to start.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's got a particular niche, that's a great place to start. You can look at them by their niche or by their industry area of specialty.
Thank you.
So that is a hub that I am upgrading as we speak. One of my teams is doing the work. It will still be a WordPress platform, but a lot more flexible. So we'll be able to do things like search for people by their last name, which you can't do right now. And there'll be a way to communicate. There'll be a chat so that you can see if somebody is on the site and you can just chat with them. And And there's a whole range of services that you could add relatively easily with WordPress. And the idea is to make it more of a community, online community, in addition to these these weekly calls that we have, and the YouTube channel, etc. Slack, unfortunately, has not taken up that much. Has not taken up Slack. Our Slack has not picked up, but I still have it open. Some people, first of all, everybody's only got so much bandwidth, and so there's only so many Slack channels you can manage. I'm sort of depending on the website as being the go-to for this group at some point.
Michael, have you thought of creating either a Discord group or WhatsApp group?
I'm not familiar with Discord. Yeah, I'm not sure about doing that yet. I do want to sort of drive people to the site and add capability on that site. But I may supplement with other tools as I have done with Slack, until all of the capabilities are sort of on the site. But thank you for that suggestion. And if anybody has suggestions, thoughts, people they want to meet, or leads for anybody in the group, just feel free to reach out to me or to the person you want to connect with directly. And David, if you're interested in, you don't have to make up your mind now. If you're interested in joining, just let me know. You can come to another meeting or two and get a feel for it.
Great, sounds good. Thank you, Michael.
Realize they're little.
And Michael, do you have time for a quick call after this?
I do. I have 13 minutes.
Cool. Okay, cool.
All right. So you're going to call me on my cell?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
Good meeting you, David. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. You too.
Bye all.
Nice to meet everyone.